Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. I want to presentation my research. The title is Gender Role in Climate Change Adaptation on the Peat Swamp Ecosystem in Pulang, Pisau, Regency, Central Kalimantan. Introduction. Climate change has the most severe impact on women from the lowest social group. The number of studies on the relationship between gender and climate change. Many sectors are affected by climate change in terms of water, food, energy security to potential biodiversity, damage, and threat to the other development fields. Peat fire in Indonesia are the complex socio-environmental problems that have motivated a large number of diverse fire management intervention from government, industry, and civil society over the past 3 decades. The purpose of this study were to find out one, gender role, change in response to climate change, and the impact of gender role change on vulnerability of women. Next. Method in the research. This study was conducted in 2020 in 3 sub-districts in Pulang, Pisau, Regency, Kahayan Hilir District, Bana Matingang District, and Kahayan Tengah District. Next. Data collection technique used were primary data were obtained by filling in the structured questionnaire on in one individual characteristic in the form of education, employment, and income. 2. Perception of community of culture and gender role in climate change adaptation in Central Kalimantan. Next. This study uses primary and secondary data. Next. Result and discussion. Gender is one of the consideration for determining role in natural resource management, which is known as gender role. The role is performed by individuals. Gender role are carried out by women and men according to status, environment, culture, and community structure. Research and discussion. This study analyzes gender role change in the response to climate change and the impact of the gender role change on vulnerability of women. Climate change in Pulang, Pisau, Regency. Figure 1. Average rainfall and rainy day every month in Pulang, Pisau, Regency 2090. Its rainfall intensity has a significant decrease from May to September, then had an increase in early October. Climate change in Pulang Pisau Regency. Gender issue is a condition that show the gap between men and women or gender inequality. In general, the population ratio in Pulang Pisau Regency can be seen in Figure 2. Figure 2, population ratio based on district and gender in Pulang Pisau Regency. Figure 3, perception in response on climate change is in Pulang Pisau talk about as many as 19.5% of respondents stated that there was a change and instability in rainfall pattern, with high rainfall intensity but with a lower duration. Uh, forest or peatland fires in Pulang Pisau Regency. There is Tumbang Nusa village as the largest area in Jabiran Raya district in 20, 2015. Around 15% of the village was burned down. The area of its district can be seen in Figure 5, F4. In Figure 4, area of its district in percent. Change in gender role. 1. Reproductive activity. And 2. Women have a better gender perspective compared to men in general in domestic work and in public and social work. Uh, in Pulang Pisau Regency, especially in the Tumbang Nusa Villa, basically, community is not very familiar with plantation and agriculture. In Kahayan Tengah Subdistrict, especially in Tanjung Sanggalang village, the role of woman is dominant in helping household income. Most of the women in the village are skilled as cultivating oyster mushroom. Women in Tanjung Sanggalang village are also active in fighting climate change. Women in the village are members of the organization formed jointly by stakeholders called Masyarakat Peduli Api. Impact of the gender role change and vulnerability of women. Table 1. Impact of climate change on women in peatland village. Adaptation strategy is the anticipation of climate change is mostly performed as a mitigation measure for climate change, which is very important, but the impact is very influential of women and children. Conclusion is number 1. Natural resource management in the peat ecosystem in Pulang Pisau. Regency is based on gender responsive which distinguish the rule between men and women. 2. Gender rules are divided into 3, namely productive rules, reproductive rule, and social community rule. Climate change in Pulang Pisau Regency with interact and be sustainable with general inequality and with disrupt things women and men, especially among the poor community. Thank you. That is my presentation.